Very, very good.
What's the best part?
Vrindavan.
But
Yeah.
transcendental, so it's good. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
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 Gopi Jana Bala Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Vivaradhari
Gopi Jana Bala Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Vivaradhari
Hare Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Go Prem. Make it open.
No, not yet.
Oh, she's doing something. Put some cloth on. So today, Tuesday, is actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most merciful incarnation of God. It's actually Radha and Krishna combined. It's actually, there's different reasons why he appeared. One reason is because it's Kali Yuga, people are so fallen, people have deviated so much. This is even in India from Vedic culture, from surrendering to Krishna. So he appeared to deliver them. But his internal reason for appearing is Krishna, and he knows what it's like to be Krishna, and he knows what it's like to love Radharani, but he doesn't know how does Radharani feel when she loves me? What does she get out of this? I don't know. I know what I get out of it. So he wanted to experience this. So he came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is Radha and Krishna combined, to experience. And he came in the mood of Radharani, in the mood of ecstatic love and separation from Krishna. That's the mood of Radharani. In other words, we can love Krishna. There's some people, I love Krishna, he steals my cloth, and we have some relationship, this and that. That's not as advanced as love in separation. You can kind of use a mundane example. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. You have someone you love, they go away, you really miss them, you think of them, you send them an email. Write a little poem. But you're thinking of them. You think of them even more. So this is the love of the gopis. It's the love and separation. Even when they are with Krishna, then they think, they're relishing it so much, but then they think they're going to get separated. But that separation, now, you may, when you have your boyfriend or girlfriend that you're separated from and you actually have a relationship, you have feeling, that is a little different because you're not with them. When you're in separation from Krishna, when your love for Krishna is there, but you're separated from him, that is, you're actually with Krishna so intensely, more than if you're actually physically present with him. So it's the highest form of love. So Radharani has this love for Krishna, and Krishna wants to experience. So he incarnates. Now when Krishna does anything, so many purposes are fulfilled. So he doesn't just come just to experience this for himself, but simultaneously he also preaches this Krishna consciousness. He preaches the Yuga Dharma, chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The way of deliverance. If people just do that, they can become delivered. Any one of us, we can just do this chanting, take it seriously, without offenses. You have to learn what the offenses are. There are 10 offenses in chanting the holy names. The blasphemed devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. This is considered the greatest offense. There are people on the internet that they make a living out of blaspheming devotees. They make their whole life to find fault with devotees. And we recommend really not paying too much attention to the internet because you'll find so much, you might find some good stuff, but you also find some bad stuff. Better pick up Srila Prabhupada's books and read them. So there's so much going on in blaspheming devotees. It's the greatest offense. It's considered the mad elephant offense. Now, if you have an elephant in your garden, you just grew all these nice things and you have this elephant in your garden, your garden is pretty well gone. Now, that's just a regular elephant. If you have a mad elephant, it's even worse. They're going to, stomp around and rip things apart. So this is the offense of blaspheming devotees of the Lord. So we have to be very careful not to blaspheme devotees. And sometimes we can. There was a question actually asked Srila Prabhupada by Tamal Krishna Maharaj. What's the difference between blaspheming, calling a spade, and fault finding? And Srila Prabhupada said, well, calling a spade. He said, just like I say to you, you are nothing but a small fig. That's calling a spade. And then he said, and what are the other two things? Tamal Krishna Maharaj had this tendency to get proud, so Prabhupada was always keeping him in line. He actually said that exactly. So calling a spade, just like I say unto you, you are nothing but a small fig. That's calling a spade. And what were the other two? And then he said blasphemy and fault finding. So fault finding is there's some fault there, and you see it and you spot it, and it's not so good. Blasphemy, he said, there's no even fault there, and you say stuff that's negative about that person. There's actually Shakespeare wrote something about he who steals my purse steals trash. 'Tis something, nothing, 'twas mine, 'tis his, and has been slaved by thousands. But he who filches from me my good name robs me of that which not enriches him, but makes me poor indeed. So this blasphemy doesn't help the person at all who's saying it. It just may hurt the other person. So why do they do it? Anyway, people do it. And this is the greatest offense you can commit. Now, Lord Chaitanya came to propagate the chanting of the holy names. And if you're going to follow this, the Yuga Dham, you purify your life, you go back home, back to Godhead. If you want to follow this, you can't try to do this and at the same time find faults or blaspheme devotees. Sometimes you're in a position where you have to find faults, just like Srila Prabhupada. If I say you're nothing but a small fig, that's calling a spade. So Prabhupada was kind of putting down Tamal Krishna Maharaj. But he's doing that for a reason. He's trying to help him. So sometimes in management, you may have to see faults. If you're not a manager, if you don't need to see faults, don't look them. There's, the Goswamis, I think it was Bhakta Goswami, I'm not positive if it was him, but I think it was him, who would not see anyone's faults. Anyone. And if somebody tried to say something bad about anyone, he wouldn't hear it. I mean, there's no need to. He just wants to see all the good qualities. Prabhupada said we should become like the bee and go to the honey, not the fly and go to the saw. So we should see people, because everybody has good qualities, and unfortunately we also have bad qualities. So it depends what you want to dwell on. So this is one of the offenses against the holy name. The holy name is why Lord Chaitanya came here, to give the holy name. Only a little over 500 years ago he came, not very long ago. So we're in the very beginning. It's called the golden age of Kali Yuga. For the next 10,000 years from when he came, this is a golden age. So we're in the beginning of this golden age. And I remember having this question before I moved into the temple. I had a lot of questions, but all of my questions were answered, I thought, very satisfactory. And this question, I didn't have answered so satisfactory, but later on, even though I didn't get such a satisfactory answer at the time, I don't even remember the answer I got, I still didn't deviate from Krishna consciousness. But my question was, Lord Chaitanya appeared 500 years ago. 500 years ago was not very long ago. He's God. He's God. How come nobody ever heard of him? A few people in India heard of him. I said, 500 years ago, we have Leonardo da Vinci, we have Michelangelo, everybody's heard of them, and they're not God. So why, if he's God, how come nobody knows about it? So anybody have an answer? Yes.
He was a hidden avatar.
What?
He was a hidden avatar, like a.
He was what?
Confidence, like
Hidden.
hidden avatar. Hidden.
Hidden. Yes.
It's not so easy to find out about God. It's easier to find out about material things, I guess.
Oh, Michelangelo.
Most people are not interested.
Okay, I mean, I like that he was hidden, and also find out about God. I mean, he did, God comes and walks on the earth and you don't even know he's there. You don't know about him from years later. Only a few people know. Anyway, the answer, your answer is closer, I think, to what I accepted, is he didn't want people to know. He started this movement, and later on, he wanted to glorify his devotees, specifically Srila Prabhupada, for spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. He could have done it. He's God. He can do anything. But instead, he'd rather his devotees get the credit. One time, Yudhisthira Maharaj, after the Battle of Kurukshetra, was very confused. He was very disturbed. He felt he did the wrong thing by killing all these people. He felt very bad. So he went to Vyasadeva, and Srila Vyasadeva tried to explain to him that he didn't do the wrong thing, but it didn't help. He went to Krishna, and Krishna couldn't explain to him how he did the right thing. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why couldn't he explain it? He said, because even though he's explaining it to him like I'm explaining something to you, in his heart, Krishna was telling him not to accept this. So he didn't accept it. So why wouldn't Krishna do it? Because he wanted to glorify his devotee. But then, when Yudhisthira Maharaj went to Bhishmadev, who's lying on a bed of arrows to his entire body, he explained successfully how Yudhisthira Maharaj did the right thing, and Yudhisthira was thoroughly convinced that he did the right thing by fighting. So he wanted to glorify Bhishmadev, so his devotee, in any condition. Nobody's ever going to be in that condition. Arrows throughout your whole body. Bhishmadev was. He would have been dead, but he had a benediction. He didn't have to die unless he wanted to die. So that's the only reason he was even still alive. So he was there lying, he couldn't move. He was on a bed of arrows. It means not like a bed of nails. The arrows were through his body, and he's laying down, and he didn't even touch the ground, because he's just touching the arrows. That's like, how can anybody get one arrow in them and just preach philosophy nicely, It's like, we'd be, I can't think, somebody asked you, oh, do you think I did? Who cares what you did? Look at me. But this is devotee. So sometimes Krishna, he wants to glorify his devotees more than himself. He cares more about his devotees than he cares about himself. He lied. He said, I won't fight in the war. But then Bhishmadev, his devotee, said, I will either kill Arjuna or Krishna will have to break his promise and fight. Because Krishna promised he wouldn't fight. He wouldn't pick up any weapon. And then, when Bhishmadev was getting very close to killing Arjuna, Krishna got off the chariot, picked up a chariot wheel, and went after Bhishmadev and saved Arjuna. And Prabhupada says, Krishna would rather be known as Bhaktavatsal, the friend of his devotees, the friend of the devotee, rather than the great moralist who never breaks his solemn vow. He don't care about his vow. And that's why, even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna that declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Because what a devotee says will happen. People have to see and accept that. But what Krishna says, he lied before, he may just be lying again. How do we know? But anyway, so Lord Chaitanya came mainly for the two purposes, to experience this, and also to help the fallen souls by giving the holy name of the Lord. And very, very simple. Even his guru instructed him, you just chant this mantra and you will get the same benefit. So he was chanting and everyone was chanting, and then we had, what's his name? It starts with a P. Parkasananda Saraswati. Parkasananda Saraswati was the leader of the Mayavadi sannyasis in Benares. And they were questioning, this sannyasi, what we do is we just study Vedanta. We study Vedanta, and that is going to make our lives perfect. And we can merge into Brahman by studying this Vedanta. And we never see him studying. All he does is chant. So they had a meeting with him. So when Lord Chaitanya went, they were very much into the effulgence, so he turned up his effulgence. 5 degrees or whatever. And then when he went there, instead of going in where all the others are, he sat down where your people bathe your feet, where people bathe their feet. So it's kind of a dirty place. He sat there because he felt not that he felt, he wanted to impress them. Actually, he wanted to engage Prakasananda Saraswati in a Gyata Sukriti, or unknowing devotional service. So when he sat there, because Lord Chaitanya took sannyas from a lower class sampradaya, lower sannyasi, according to their rules. There's the Saraswati sannyasis and there's different sannyasis. So he sat down where they bathe the feet. So Prakasananda Saraswati came over to him and then took his hand and pulled him up. So this way, Lord Chaitanya can engage Prakasananda Saraswati in devotional service, even unknowingly, which is in Gyata Sukriti. Someone does something for Krishna, not even knowing it, they still benefit. So Lord Chaitanya, they asked, why do you just chant? He said, my Guru, Maharaj said, you're a fool. Just chant this and you'll get the same results. And no one argued with this. No one said, no, that's not right. They all agreed. If his Guru had instructed him in this way, then that's what he should do. So Lord Chaitanya spread Krishna consciousness throughout India, different places. In India, mainly in Orissa and Bengal area, but he spread Krishna consciousness. He traveled all over, and he went to Vrindavan, and he sent his devotees to Vrindavan, the Goswamis, to establish the places of Krishna's pastimes. So all this was done by Lord Chaitanya, but it really didn't go out of India. And then Bhaktivinoda knew that this Krishna consciousness has to get spread all over, because Lord Chaitanya made this prediction that this is going to be, that the holy names of the Lord are going to be spread in every town and village. So what are we waiting for? It's not happening. So Bhaktivinoda tried. He sent books to the West. He sent books to McGill University or something in Canada. So they tried. Then Bhakti Siddhanta, Srila Prabhupada's guru, he tried. He sent devotees to London. He sent sannyasis to London. And they struggled. They took all the money they could have to send to these devotees in London to try to spread Krishna consciousness there. So they were totally maintained by the Gaudiya Math, and they were not very successful at all. And then Srila Prabhupada came. He was also a sannyasi. He came with nothing, no support whatsoever, not a rupee from India, from the Gaudiya Math. And he came, and because of Lord Chaitanya's mercy, Lord Chaitanya worked through him to spread Krishna consciousness all around the world. So one of the things with why he was so successful is he saw that he's not doing anything. It's only Lord Chaitanya's mercy. It's only his Guru Maharaj's mercy. It's only Krishna's mercy. I'm not doing it. I'm just, I'm coming, I'm making an attempt, and Krishna's doing everything else. So when we are successful in our preaching and we start to get a little proud, then we don't usually go much further in that preaching. So, but if you don't become proud, how do you not become proud? It's hard, especially when people are telling you how great you are. It's hard not to let it go to your head. I mean, I used to do magic shows and people saying, I'm so great. And I start thinking, wow, I'm really doing this stuff. It's all tricks. So that's that's a mundane thing. I didn't do anything. They think I change $1 into a $100 bill, and I'm thinking I'm great. I had one person from the Gaudiya Math, just woman. She was visiting here. She used to be in ISKCON, but then she went over there. And I chant Radhe Govinda, and I fold $1 right in front of her, and then I chant Radhe Govinda, and I open it up, and it becomes a $100 bill. and she said, such and such a person says we shouldn't chant the holy name for material benefit. And then I realized she thought I really changed her 1 into 100, and she's trying to tell me I shouldn't chant the holy name to do that. Anyway, we chant the holy name because I try to get people to chant. I get everybody to chant the holy name with me. So, but anyway, you can get puffed up for anything. You can become proud of anything. So if you're very successful at preaching, and people are sincerely falling at your feet, sincerely wanting to do everything for you, you may start to think that I'm really special. Most of us would. Most of us are not going to just say, well, it's just Krishna doing it. You're going to start thinking, well, I did something, you know. But Prabhupada never thought like that. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya can use him. That's why he's a Shaktavesh avatar. He's one of the sense. He's empowered incarnation. He's empowered to do a certain thing. So Lord Chaitanya, rather than get the credit himself for spreading Krishna consciousness, he'd rather give it to his devotee. And he started out with absolutely nothing, Srila Prabhupada. And somehow or other, it accomplished so much. And in India, I don't know if he was in India at the time. No, but when he went to India, he showed us newspapers too, where the headlines in the London, I'm not sure what's a London paper. London Times, I don't know if it's London Times, but the main paper in London. It says, Hare Krishna startled London. On the headline. And he said the sannyasis, like 2 or 3 sannyasis couldn't do anything. And he sent 3 householder couples, and they were so successful in spreading Krishna consciousness. And also them. Why were they successful? They surrendered to Prabhupada. They did anything. They performed great austerities, just because they wanted to please Prabhupada. So that's what we should be doing again now. Everybody try to fully surrender. Do as much as you can to please Srila Prabhupada, to please your Guru Maharaj. So if we do that, this movement can spread like anything. Instead of thinking of, it was Kennedy, don't think of what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Don't think of what ISKCON can do for you, but what you can do for ISKCON. I mean, I heard somebody say that, and I thought it was, of course, Kennedy made it famous, but it's a fact. We shouldn't be thinking of us. What am I going to get out of it? It doesn't matter what I get out of it. What's Krishna going to get out of it? What's Lord Chaitanya going to get out of it? What's Srila Prabhupada going to get out of it? That should be our consciousness. It's not like, well, I got to make sure I get this and that. Don't even think about you. I mean, at least for a little while. Try it. Just think about Krishna. What does he want? And go out and do whatever he wants. Don't worry about your false ego. It's purifying. So Lord Chaitanya, he came mainly to spread this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And even when Srila Prabhupada came here, if you read what he wrote in his prayer in Boston Harbor, he was saying, I don't have any qualification. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't know any. He was very, very genuinely humble. But he said, but I do have full faith in the holy name. So that's what he had. And by that faith in the holy name, he just got people to chant. No rules, no regulations. Just chant Hare Krishna. Later on, rules and regulations came. But in the beginning, just chant Hare Krishna. Then you'll get purified. And if you get purified, then it's easier to give up these bad habits that we may have. So Lord Chaitanya empowered Srila Prabhupada.